Texans back on the practice field. Some familiar sounds. New year, very familiar sounds. Is it temporary or is it just kind of a sign of things to come? It is SNL, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. We hope you'll join us tomorrow. We're less than 24 hours away from being out there at Spanky Sharpstown off of Bel Air Boulevard. We'll be there right after practice. We want to hang with you. We're going to broadcast live. We're going to chill with you. Happy hour starts at 2. Homemade dough, homemade sauce. You know the drill. So come out there. John McClain will be there as well. Dog cuss him. Do what you've always wanted to do. We look forward to being out there with y'all. And he likes a good old dog cussing. So we'll see you out there. We'll talk more about that as the show goes on. But I want to hop into this DeMeco thing. And DeMeco Ryans, the demeanor's kind of changed. He was kind of giddy on Tuesday. Today, he kind of intensified a little bit. And I found this very interesting. It seems to have triggered a lot of reaction from Texans fans, media types, but he was asked about the offensive line, and DeMeco dropped this banger.
I thought our offensive line did a good job. Again, in the game, we can help ourselves by stepping up in the pocket on a couple of the sacks that happened, but again, I thought we had clean pockets versus the Rams as well. So, there are a lot of good things that happened versus the Rams. They made more plays than we made, and that's the bottom line. We hurt ourselves in the red zone defensively. We were down in the red zone 3 times. 2 times we gave up touchdowns in the red zone, right? We stop them. We make them kick field goals there, right? We're sitting here telling a different story. So, again, it'll always be about us and what we do, how we execute. We execute the right way, we'll put ourselves in favorable position to win games.
Now, there's a couple things to take away from that, but I'll just lay it out for you, Cody, and let you give your thoughts on DeMeco there.
We're really, it's week 2 and we already do the grade the offensive line on a curve thing where it's just like, yeah, no, they were good. It's like, I watched, they weren't good. Like, you want to say that they had their moments and we should have taken advantage of it. Sure. But you can't say they did good. And the comments that they have pointed out this week about how they played behind the sticks and they can't put themselves in first and 15s and second and longs and third and longs. Well, the O-line's one of the reasons you're in those positions. So you can't tell me that, yeah, well, the O-line played good, but we got to clean up these first and longs and second and longs and third and longs. It's like, well, they put you in some of those positions. Like that just gets ignored. That gets wiped away. That's the biggest thing they've talked about. I got to clean up. We can't operate in way behind the sticks, so we can't operate off schedule. Well, the O-line puts you there. False starts, sacks, pressure that doesn't let you have positive plays. Like I couldn't believe he went right back there like he did last year where the O-line's good. At least he didn't tell me to go watch a Laken Tomlinson snap that was good like he did with Kenyon Green last year.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of things here, and I get your overall thoughts there, but I think there was a little bit of something sprinkled in there. If we're going to listen beyond it, he basically called out CJ Stroud for not making the offensive line better and taking advantage of opportunities, which has been kind of a talking point. There's clear sacks where they are on CJ, and CJ himself said that he needs to step up in the pocket and all that, and he did use his legs better, specifically in the first half. But this is kind of like the Detroit game last year where Jared Goff throws more interceptions than he does all season, and then the offense turns the ball over in the end zone and they don't score a point in the second half, and DeMeco comes out and criticizes the defense. And I don't know if there's 2 battles here with DeMeco, and it's reality versus perhaps just a mindset. And that's really where that's really where the issue arises, is what's the cards that you have dealt personnel wise. The defense is going to carry you home more times than the offense. We understand that, but you also do wonder, like, is this just too much of a defensive-minded mindset? And I'm walking around today, and I'm just kind of thinking about this because you like to bring up Zeitler every 5 minutes. It's like it's just you just really like to bring up the offensive line situation and what they could have done and what they could have had and all this type of stuff. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we're listening to this mindset, and on one hand it is reality, But on the other hand, I mean, you just follow the money and you look around and you walk around the facility and you look on the practice field. Like DeMeco Autry's getting money for what? Like you have enough defensive linemen. Like I get that y'all think he's a badass and he can make an impact, but you have enough defensive linemen. And then Jalen Petrie is going to be one of the highest paid nickel corners in the league. And it's like, okay, there's another probably that. I mean, if you look at what that annual value is, that's at least a guard with some sort of starting experience or a tackle or something like moving forward. So you just wonder, yes, the defense is good. Yes, in the big scheme of things, the defense is probably going to have to be held to a higher standard than the offense. But is this deeper than just an adjustment to what you have this season? That's the question I have when I hear DeMeco Ryans kind of sounding like he did last year when this was supposed to be a year where they take the next step and they kind of put that behind them.
I think there was a little bit more this year than what he would have done last year. Like there was some, last year he just defended the O-line and just said they played well when they didn't play well. Like this year, he said they played well, and then he pointed out some things that maybe you blame the O-line for that were somebody else's fault, the CJ stuff. Now, he sacked 3 times. I would say that 2 of those definitely, CJ's fault. If he gets the pre-snap right, maybe they don't have the free rusher, and then one of them he could have stepped up. He could have stepped up for that 1 sack. If he'd stepped up, he still gets sacked. So it's like, okay, you can't put all of them on CJ, just like you can't put, you can't put all of them on CJ. And yeah, should he have made a better play here or there with some of the clean pockets? Sure, but I think he deserves a little bit more grace than what DeMeco gave him there. And I do think the offensive line deserves a little bit more criticism. And then, they spent all this money on the defense in the offseason, and they went bargain shopping on offense, especially at the offensive line. The scale is very different.
Yeah, it's different. And again, I sound like a broken record. It's just a point I want to get across. I get that that's probably like just realistic, but if you go into an off season and the approach is we're going to change the culture of the offense, and it's 1 week. We know this. Like, it's a fluid process. It changes. That's why it's called Overreaction Monday. But 1 week in, it looks the exact same. And CJ even said today, I thought was interesting, we've been having these problems for years. Like CJ Stroud said that. He said, we've been having these problems for years. And then you're kind of hearing the same thing. It's just one of those things that makes you wonder, and we'll see how they bounce back on the Super Chat. You ain't never hate. Swarm. Rich Boy J says, can all media members agree to collectively groan the next time DeMeco tries to convince y'all the O-line did a good job? I don't think we can make that happen.
I don't know. There's some people that aren't going to ever disagree with DeMeco Ryans.
Hey, bro, Alpha Aaron here.
Not him. I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
Not him. No, I'm just kidding. Logan on the soup. Besides Vita Vea, does Tampa's defense worry you? Antoine Winfield's a hell of a player, and you can tell DeMeco Ryans loves him. Man, thank God they got Ross Blacklock, though. Thank God they got Ross Blacklock because, what does old Antoine Winfield do for you? Something else I thought, and this happens. Like, you get in this mindset, but I'm hearing CJ Stroud talk, and he's like, he's right. Like, he's 100% right. Like, how many centers has he had since he's been here? I think it's 6. Like, it's 6, right? It's off the dome. He's had Juice. He's had Patterson. He had that guy from the Dolphins that sweat a lot.
Not Broker.
The guy that sucked. But he actually played okay. Help us out in the chat. God, what was his name? He was the one that had that goofy NFL moments type of thing. It's gonna bother me, but yeah. So he had those 3. He's had Andrews. So he's had at least 4 centers.
Yeah, he's had a bunch, and a lot of them have not been the starting center when it's all said and done. Michael Dieter, yes, God. Who actually held up pretty nicely. But yeah, he has had 4 centers.
since
he
he's
said.
been here, at least.
He said
No,
Dieter.
no, Kendrick Green played a game at center, didn't he? He came in.
I don't.
He came as a center and he played guard.
Yeah, he came as a center play guard.
Yeah.
So he had Dieter. He had Juice.
Patterson and Andrews.
Patterson and Andrews. Gosh, there's got to be somebody we're missing.
No, I think that's his 4 centers. But my point is, I was bitching about draft picks and Antoine Winfield and all that. Like, he talks about centers, and it's like, well, if only they would have just decided that, you know, it might be a little bit early, but having a Pro Bowl center would not be the worst thing. And this was actually a discussion. This is in hindsight. So, you know, Tyler Linderbaum, instead of taking this guard out of Texas A&M, might work out. Like, and that was one of the 3 names that we were mentioning there, but it was like the positional value argument. But it would be interesting to see what this whole situation looks like if you just have that foundational piece. But they need to find him a long-term center. The long-term center is probably not on this team right now, but I don't want to dismiss Jake Andrews yet, but I wouldn't think that would be like the dream scenario.
No. Did Scott Questenberry snap to him one time?
Who knows? Yeah, he got hurt though. Remember? Yeah, but I don't think in a game he had the season-ending injury at camp.
But that was the next year, and then they like brought him back though, right? No, I don't know.
It's been a lot. It's been too many centers. So DeMeco says the offensive line was good. My question for you is, how do you think the offensive line was good?
Well, the biggest problem is they looked a little bit better on the interior. Like they had moments with the 2 guards in the center, even after Andrews got hurt, where they were like, they looked okay. The tackles looked way worse. Like, Ursary played really poorly, and Cam Robinson played really poorly. So like the tackles after, you know, sometimes last year, the tackles had some moments where they looked okay, and the interior was the problem. It's reversed this year. Like the tackles were a big issue, and you know, those couple of sacks, it was pressure off the edge that really got to Stroud. And it wasn't as much just like, you know, Shaq Mason was laying guys right to CJ's lap last year. Like there wasn't a lot of that. And they had a decent amount of push in the run game here and there. Still wasn't as consistent as you would want. Like that was the thing last year. It's like they'd have a quarter where they'd do really well in the run game, and then they'd be kind of absent in the run game for a quarter and a half after that. But I thought there was some okay stuff in the run game, and the interior O-line pass blocked a little bit better than last year, but I don't know that any of it was particularly good where I'd be like, yeah, that was good. Like I wouldn't go with any of that.
I guess the way that I would say it is I've seen worse not too long ago. So that would be the only way that I would say that's how I would look at it. I've definitely seen worse. So that's just kind of the way that the offensive line whole thing is. As far as on the practice field, the injury report, really not much has changed. Christian Kirk did not practice. Berrios did not practice. Blake Fisher, full go. And then Jake Andrews didn't practice, and Ed Ingram was limited. So maybe you get to see Ed Ingram at right guard and Titus Howard at right tackle. I know Thursdays are typically kind of somewhat urgent practices, but this was, since they play a day later, this is essentially a Wednesday practice, which is, you don't really read too much into it unless, like, say, Derek Stingley was on the injury report with that hip or something. That's where you kind of make note of it. But as far as guys that were already there, really not much to make of it. Tomorrow that will change, and then Saturday will be the final confirmation of who is or isn't going to go, most likely.
Yeah, so the second practice of the week, far more important than that first one from a who's there, who's not there. And I would guess if Ed Ingram got a full practice under his belt, he'd get a crack at that right guard spot, and they'd move Titus back out there, and they'd put Ursary back at left tackle. But
okay, Ed,
who knows? I mean, it's not, it's not great when you're going into week 2 and Ed Ingram is the hinge that keeps you from starting the O-line that you don't really want to start versus the O-line that you do want to start.
Yeah, the Ed Ingram experience right there with Vita Vea. Okay, let's see how that goes. Welcome to the Texans. This is what you get, a massive human in front of you. Texans Turf. I want to shout out Texans Turf. I'm a customer. I was a customer before we started doing business back in the day. It's the best thing I've done for my home. Whether you're someone like me with a smaller yard that just wants the kid and the puppy to have a place where there's no insects, it feels a lot better. It takes care of itself. We still have plants and everything back there too. They'll customize around what you got. Texans Turf. They don't have the extreme minimums that the other places have, and they can do any size job, and they'll do it for you. Dan and his team are the best in the game. Putting greens, play areas, all that. It's easier to clean up after the dog as well, I found, and you just water it. There's stuff that it's underneath. It's not like AstroTurf. A lot of people say, well, yeah, no. It's pretty much like they got the pebble dirt, whatever you want underneath it. They got it, and it's pretty much a better version of grass. If you have beautiful grass, good for you. But if you're Houstoning like I was with the grass, and you have insects, it's dry, all that, Texans Turf, it makes your home look better. You feel better outside, and the entire family will love it. Shout out to Dan and his team. Go to TexansTurf.com.
The biggest thing for me is you're not tracking in mud and dirt and all that nasty stuff from the outside. Always green, always clean. I love that from Texas.
It looks
Turf.
good.
Check them out, TexasTurf.com.
It looks good. Yeah, it doesn't die in summer droughts. Tazewell knows. Listen to Tazewell on the chat. Shout out to Texans Turf. So DeMeco Ryans was asked about Nick Caley. Nick Caley. Nick. I really said this after the game. I didn't think he called a terrible game. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
Nick did a good job, right, with the play calls. At the end of the day, we all have to just put ourselves in position where we can actually call the game, right? We were behind the sticks a lot, shot ourselves in the foot a lot, where we were in second and long and just third and long a lot. That's not a great place to be as a first-time play calling your first game. So if we can play well together and stay on schedule, stay on track, then we can see how the game is called.
I understand it. It's tough to get into the bag when it's just you're in an untenable situation, in an unwinnable situation. So I certainly understand that being an excuse. I just wonder if there were a couple of things here and there that maybe Nick Caley could have done to help avoid being in those situations.
Like what?
I mean, did you feel like there was enough quick game in this one?
No. No.
Yeah. So that'd be my biggest thing. That'd be the start. I'd find a way to get Nico Collins the ball a few more times. I think he can make a play.
I don't think that's all him though. That's my thing.
Second and long and third and long. Yeah, CJ's got to do a better job getting Nico the ball too.
But yeah, the quick game I agree with. I'm very concerned, and this has been like a big topic. I'm concerned about them thinking giving Chubb the ball 20 times is a recipe for success. I don't believe that. I think it was a perfect mix, and he was gassed. Like, he was tired, man. Like, you saw, I think Pendergast and Reggie in the Texans Collective, which you can subscribe to in the description. We're going to go Tuesday at 6 this week. But they brought up a good point that, he was gassed after that drive. I mean, before the 2-minute warning, when he had the 20 yards, like he needed a couple sips of water. And
he did have 4 straight carries.
No, I know, but I mean, he was gassed. Like, it's one of those things where, I mean, do you think giving Nick Chubb the ball 20 times is a solution here?
I'd rather give Nick Chubb the ball 20 times than give him the ball 15 times and give Dameon Pierce the ball 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, I think we agree. The one thing we agree about this running back committee is we want to see more Woody Marks. We don't know. We're not 100% confident that that's going to be a recipe for success or look much better, but I think it goes that way. But we kind of agree that Dameon Pierce at this point it's just wasted carries.
Yeah, no, that's not the approach. Look, I thought there were some good things from the rushing game, certainly in this one. Less Dameon Pierce, more Woody Marks. I don't think they should, battering ram Nick Chubb as much as they probably think they need to, because at some point you're going to need him later in the season. I get that every game's important. You try to win the next one, all that stuff. But that would add up quickly on a guy like Nick Chubb here in the few weeks if you were just hammering him into this line of scrimmage time and time and time again. So I'm not in favor of that by any means, but I'd rather him get the ball than Damian Pierce or Dare Gumbawale. So
yeah, and that's the
figure
whole
that out.
thing. It's really just about a pitch count for Nick Chubb. I'm not. It's not about questioning.
Like if I knew Joe Mixon was back in week 5, I'd run Nick Chubb into the ground.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give a damn. But
Yeah.
no one knows when Joe Mixon's coming back. Nick Chubb's your RB1 for right now and for a long time. And so with that, you've got to have some delicacy with a guy who's got an injury history and a workload like he had in Cleveland.
yeah. I mean, you have to play the long game with Nick Chubb and figure it out. But like this notion that you're just going to hand him the ball and 20 times, I just don't think that's realistic. I think it's the appropriate slice of pie. I thought it was perfect. Like if you get that from Nick Chubb every week, that's good. But I think there's dangers in handing him the ball 20 times. I did enjoy the back and forth with Sean and Reggie about the workload, and Sean said, well, basically he hasn't been running the ball lately, which is an interesting way to look at it. I mean, he did have to go, you can say, well, the car hasn't run that much. Well, it did have to go to the mechanic, and I got about a $9,000 bill.
Yeah.
So something was wrong with it. You don't get a completely new engine. So it's not like that. And then Reggie mentioned his usage like throughout the years in Cleveland before the injuries. So I don't think that it's a guaranteed recipe for success to hand Chubb the ball too many times.
He's a work truck. You don't take the work truck on road trips. You take the work truck and do the work truck stuff, but it's not your everyday driver and it's not your road trip driver. So you got to have another role you got to have somebody else to fill that role if you're the Texans backfield.
It is SNL. Join us tomorrow. Spanky, Sharpstown, out there on Bel Air Boulevard. The other thing about this, and I've used 2 baseball analogies now when talking about Nick Chubb, is I've used the term pitch count, and then also like on a lot of baseball teams, there's like a guy who's being platooned perfectly. And then everybody's like, man, not everybody, but a lot of fans are like, man, this guy needs to be in the lineup more. He needs to be in the lineup more. And then all of a sudden when he's in the lineup more, it's like he kind of falls off. And it's not just about like workload or anything like that. Like the examples I'd use of the Astros would be like Chas McCormick and Jake Marisnick, like back in the day. Like it's like they're perfect platoons. You act like you want to see them in the lineup all the time, but then when they're in the lineup all the time, it doesn't work. I know Nick Chubb's accomplished more in his career as an individual than both of them, but at this point, I think that was a perfect slice of pie. Now, if they don't have, if Nick Chubb requires 20 carries with this committee, then that's an indictment on the committee. That's an indictment on the committee. You didn't bring in Nick Chubb to carry the ball 20 times a game. You brought in Nick Chubb to be a guy that could blend in with these guys and you could work in. So if we get to a point where you're wanting Nick Chubb to have 20, 25 carries a game, that's an indictment on the committee and the job that they've done putting that together, which we've talked about for a while. But I'm just intrigued to see what it looks like on Monday.
Well, hopefully they're able to throw the ball better. Like that's what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to hit some of that short game and complete a few more passes. You don't have to run the ball. And maybe when you do run the ball, it'll be even more effective because they actually got to be worried about the passing attack.
All right, so DeMeco Ryans spoke, and then CJ Stroud came out, and CJ Stroud kind of agreed with DeMeco that Nick needs some help. Take it away, QB.
We got to help Kels out, man. I think that's my biggest thing personally, and I think for the guys is not giving what play are you going to call on 2nd and 15, 2nd and 25, when we've had these problems for years, so 3rd and 14, 3rd and 12, like you can't live in that. And we do our coach discourtesy of that and that's controllable by us. So I think that's a start. Personally, I got to be better, just pocket movements and checking the ball down when I need to check it down, and at the same time staying aggressive. So I think we just need to build a rhythm early on better, and I think we'll be better from that.
Okay, you got to help Caley out. So they're kind of defending Caley, and a lot of this is being put on CJ. He says he's got to do better. DeMeco said a lot of times there was a clean pocket, and CJ didn't step up. So CJ saying that he's got to be better.
Take what the defense gives you. He said he was going to do it all last year. He didn't do it. And then he says it right there. Should have done it a couple more times the other day.
But he's going to have another center, Jared Patterson, familiar with his game. We should hear from him tomorrow or the next day. What about working with Jared Patterson? And the most interesting thing here is this is the last nickname I expected Jared Patterson to have. When I think slime, I don't think Jared Patterson. But apparently that's his nickname.
Yeah, it's great. You know, me and Slime, that's his nickname. Yeah, I can't say that. I'm going to get fined. Me and J-Pat have done a good job early on in our careers of, like, finding a good relationship on calls, on really just everything, like snaps. He does a good job, you know, of getting the guys where I'm going, getting them going. So I thought, you know, when he stepped in, he did a good job. Of course, we're going to miss Jake, and he was doing a really good job too. So, yeah, just try to do as best I can wherever I have. It sucks I have a lot of experience with backup centers, and which is not fortunate all the time. But at the same time, I love J-Pat. He's a great player, and he's going to do great for us.
Slime. I mean, we're going to ask him how he got the nickname, right?
Yeah, and you think it's going to be a backside thing?
Yeah, I think I think maybe his posterior gets nasty, and they got to dry him off or clean him up.
Yeah, the sweat ass is where we're going with this.
That's got to be it, right? Unless Jared Patterson's got a whole lot more swagger than we are giving him credit for.
Yeah, I would probably say not. The patience of the Nick Caley thing is something that CJ Stroud also stressed, and maybe we just wanted to see the immediate payoff. CJ Stroud says that takes a little bit of time.
Watching a lot of film of New England back when they were like in 2002, 2003, 2004. They didn't, and now of course they won, but they didn't look like what they did in their strong run right away. And of course that's the goal, to get it as quick as possible, but sometimes it's not the reality. So I'm trying my best to keep our guys' mojo up, and I think we're doing a good job of it.
What is the benefit of watching New England? It's like early 2000s. What are we doing?
Doesn't hold on to the ball, just gets rid of the rock.
So just get rid of the rock, take what the defense gives you. You know, a lot of times there was talk about Brady being a game manager, and the early talk was, well, Peyton Manning doesn't have that defense. So that's what we're doing. We're just putting in the early 2000s New England's and using that as like the blueprint of how to do things.
I mean, I don't know if it's the blueprint, but it's certainly, they're hoping that it influences him for sure.
Okay.
I mean, what do you want him to show?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe their own.
He can't do it. He can't do what Stafford does. So we showing Stafford stuff last year. Like he could get. I mean, he can manage some of this stuff.
Okay. I mean, I just.
Do you think it's a waste of time to show the old Patriots footage?
I don't get it. That's like very, like, used to make fun of Bill O'Brien for that. And I'm not, I mean, it is what it is, but like, I remember when Cecil Short said that basically it was like they were showing tape of Wes Welker and Randy Moss. It's a little different. And it was like, this is how they do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just trying to figure out why are we watching early 2000s New England? Maybe he's doing it on his own. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to figure something out. I don't really understand that.
That's a question for Nick Caley then.
All right, here's more. Yeah, he speaks tomorrow. Let's hear from CJ Stroud on what you've been asking about, getting the rock to Nico Collins. DeMeco says they need to do it. What does his quarterback have to say about it?
You know, it's our job to find ways to get it to him, and I thought we could have, you know, definitely I could have done a better job of getting him the rock when he was open, and yeah, I think he's going to show up big time every dog has his day, you know, and Nico's growling at the mouth like a Rottweiler, trying to get that ball. And so I'm excited to see. And you know, I'm always looking for 12, man. That's never a question. So yeah, he'll be all right.
All right, so CJ needs to be better in the pocket. CJ needs to do better getting the ball to Nico. So we got to keep an eye on that. Like that target share, it's got to, you got to think there's double-digit targets coming for Nico Collins with the way that they're talking.
There certainly should be. I mean, just not enough in any way, shape, or form from a target standpoint. I mean, you look around the league, 1,000-yard receivers last year that got less targets than Nico Collins. There was 3. Terry McLaurin coming off of no training camp. George Kittle left early with an injury. There were 2 of them. So it's like, you've got to find a way to get Nico Collins the ball. He should. It's not like you have an awesome 2 or 3 or a great tight end that you're getting the ball to instead. Like, flip a few of those things over to Nico and let him go try to make some plays. And some of it is Stroud didn't see him when he was there, and Stroud didn't see him when he was open, and CJ said as much.
I just want to see what they do this week against Tampa Bay. But there is no crying in football, according to CJ.
I don't know, like, what we're going to do, sit around here and cry about it? Like, it's the NFL. It's part of the game. We played really bad, and we still had a chance to win. That shows, I think, to our team how talented we are and how good we can be. And it's 1 week, and I'm not the person to just give a whole bunch of grace and no truth, and a whole bunch of truth and no grace. I'm a little bit of both. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say. I think for me, I've been in this team myself. I've been in this position a bunch where everybody thinks you suck and whatever they want to think. Cool, y'all go ahead and do that. We're gonna continue to grind. And if we lay an egg again, we're gonna get back up. We're gonna trust each other. It really doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. So,
yeah, I mean, okay, like I don't.
You seem dejected by CJ at the podium today.
Dude, he looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's not really like a glowing presence there. Like, it's really just kind of a put up or shut up. What?
I came away from the podium today feeling pretty good about the way CJ acted.
No, I like the way that he's talking about accountability, and I like the way he's talking about, you know, what he has to do better. But it's just he always seems like so tired. Like he always seems like so exhausted. It started last year. And I mean, I don't know how you feel good about when the guy goes up there and says, you know, we've had these same problems for a few years. Oh, I've had a bunch of sinners. It's on me to get Nico Collins the ball. I got to do this. Like it feels early, but it just feels like it's the exact same football team. And then you have DeMeco Ryans saying, you know, the offensive line played good. This feels like last year when DeMeco Ryans was saying that, and the offense is graded differently. So, yeah, I mean, for what I have to judge today and what I have to judge early on, yeah, I don't think anyone was sitting there like hyped up. Like, are people just counting down the days till Monday after what you heard there? Nah, I mean, it's going to be we'll see what happens. You can tell that DeMeco Ryans has tightened up though, and that's good because I think that's kind of the mannerisms of DeMeco Ryans. Like whenever they have a win, he's going to come in and he's going to kind of try to cancel that out, like the seesaw, high to low. And whenever they have a loss, he's going to come in giddy. And then as the week goes on, he's going to tighten up and he's going to be ultra focused. But yeah, it feels like the stuff that we were talking about, the issues that have been going on, and the words that we've been hearing from two of the faces of this franchise, they sound a little bit similar, a little bit familiar. I feel like I'm on a treadmill right now.
I think to me, it feels there's certainly the familiarity from last year, but I feel like what they're saying sounds a little bit better. Not DeMeco, because you can't say the O-line played good. I don't agree. But you know, CJ taking a lot more accountability for very specific things as opposed to just going to the podium and say, I got to do better, which was, you know, like the talking toy where you pull the string last year where, oh, I got to do better. I got to do better. I mean, this wasn't, I'm not having fun anymore. Like last year, like it wasn't one of those.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I would agree with that. But It's on. And Bubble Dream LOL says he's actually on the treadmill. So good for you. On the chat, Nick Rodriguez asks, why do so many people want CJ to be Sabrina Carpenter? LOL. I don't even know who that is.
To be with Sabrina Carpenter?
Want CJ to be with Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, okay. Who is that?
She's a famous pop star.
Oh, are they connected?
Not to my knowledge.
I feel like Nick saw one person say something and is saying that. What is that a thing? Am I missing that? Am I not on the internet streets enough?
I've not heard anything like that.
Yeah, someone says, "Come on." Yeah, I don't know much about Sabrina Carpenter. I'll be honest. Don't know anything about it. No idea. I'm not being a hardo. I feel like I'm in the same. Do you not feel like you're in the same movie as last year? Do you not feel that way?
No, I don't feel like this. I mean, I feel like
you don't feel like 1 week in that it's the same movie. It's fine, but you ever hyped up going to a movie, like a part 2 or part 3, and then you go see it and you're like, oh, it was the same thing. Remember when Madden was basically the same game for 8 years when they stopped really kind of innovating? Because for a while they had, this is millennial talk, but they had the hit stick, they had the vision thing, which sucked, but they had a lot of stuff, and there was always a new form of innovation. And then eventually they just got to where they just exact same name, just different rosters, and they had to step it up recently for the kids because kids hold you accountable. The Gen Z holds you more accountable with the games as opposed to millennials who just want to play the game, whatever. But you would get Madden, and then it would be well, this is the same game as last year. That's what I feel like I'm doing. That's what I feel like early on. It's early. It's fluid. I still like Nick Caley, but I do feel like it's the same thing. The offensive line isn't great. The coach is sitting there grading the defense on a curve, whether it's appropriate or not. The offense isn't making plays. We're pointing in different directions, trying to figure out why that's not happening. And you're going into a game against a team that you might be more talented than. It's kind of like a pick 'em. I feel like I just got the same copy of Madden.
Yeah, to use your movie example though, the movie just started. So it looks familiar, but the movie's just
no, that's fair. That's fair.
The movie just started. I haven't even gotten into the middle part of the popcorn yet, where all my butters and my gone down and my candy's melted.
You're not in the middle of the popcorn when the movie just starts. Come on. You're going and getting a different tub after the previews. Let's be real.
Yeah, probably. I didn't say which bag of popcorn it was. I didn't say it was bag 1 or bag 2.
Movie popcorn is the best snack in the game. I go get it even when I'm not going to the movies.
Yeah, so it's I get
it. The movie is early. That's a good point.
To use the movie analogy, we got to pause the movie and then talk to the director and the actor. And they kind of said some of the same things, but there's a little bit different tone about this movie.
That's fair. You're making sense. This is why I like the point counterpoint here on SNL. That's a good point.
This isn't December where Bobby's we're close. That's not what this is.
Yeah, it's not January where Bobby's saying
we got to throw Joe Mixon the football.
Yeah, and I haven't. And the other thing, the other good point that you're making, and this is good. This is good. So the other good point that you're making is you haven't completely lost faith in Nick Caley. That would be asinine.
No, because I
didn't really think he did that bad the other day. There are things around him. So see, yeah, you're right. It's just the star of the movie. Good point.
Part of the assessment of the offensive coordinator is how well do you pick yourself up off the ground when you don't have great stuff to work with.
Good point.
If I gave Nick Caley a grade right now, it would be an incomplete grade. I've graded the introduction in the first paragraph of the essay that is Nick Caley's 2025 season. That's just writing the book on Nick Caley right now would be silly. Now, I think he deserves more grace and more benefit of the doubt than, say, 8-year vet Cam Robinson, who's constantly been trying to be replaced at his previous stop and played poorly in Minnesota last year. Nick Caley deserves more benefit of the doubt than journeyman guard Laken Tomlinson. Nick Caley deserves more benefit of the doubt than, CJ, who's making some errors that we saw him make last year. He's, he deserves a little bit more than that. He's not faultless. I didn't like some of the stuff he did.
I would agree with that, and because there's not really a body of work with Nick Caley, so we haven't really even seen how he handles the one thing that we know about DeMeco Ryans, on top of the fact that he's just a really good defensive coach, is when his back's against the wall, he responds. And maybe Nick Caley has that skill. Like maybe Nick Caley coming off of a bad game is able to respond. And that will be something to keep an eye on and like adjust. So yeah, you're right, man. Like it is early in the movie. So I do agree with you on that, but it's still early signs. Like it's not the best start to part 2.
No, it's one of those where it's like, well, is this the same movie? Like, yeah, okay. They changed the actors. The story's like a little bit different, but like, is this the same movie? Okay, well, let's let the movie keep playing out and see. Now, if they're 4 weeks in and we're saying, well, it's the same movie, then you're in trouble because there's not a lot you could change at that point.
Let's talk about Spankies, and I'm pumped to be there tomorrow. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Bart Scott voice. Cannot wait. We're going to be out there at the Sharpstown location, Bel Air Boulevard, 3 to 6 at least. And we will be hanging out with you. Now, I'm looking forward to the wings, the chips and salsa, my own personal pizza with extra sauce. That's what I'm looking forward to. Cody's just hyping up these apps, man. He is wants him some taters, and that's what he's going to be having. You come out there. You want me to show you some of the stuff I'm going to give away? You tell the people about Spanky's. I'll show you some of the stuff I'm going to give away.
Yeah, Spanky's been around for 50 years, 4-time best pizza in the city, the Houston Chronicle, and they make the stuff fresh each morning. The dough is fresh, the sauce is fresh, the ranch is homemade. They put care into it. Like, you get great value when you spend your money there. How many times have you gone somewhere and you're like, man, that was expensive. I didn't feel like I really got that much. That's not the case at Spanky's. Big restaurant, tons of great food, tons of great drinks, all of them at great prices. Landry's mentioned it a couple of times. It's going to be happy hour while we're out there. So you have plenty of opportunities. Grab some beverages that way. It's going to be fantastic. You got to come out and hang out with us, talk some Texans football. Okay? And, yeah, I like the tater cakes. I'm going to get me some cheesy breadsticks. I might even throw in some Mama's meatballs. You know, there's a lot of different things that I might get from the appetizers. And maybe I wake up tomorrow and I want that limited time pepperoni hot honey pizza. Maybe I want that. But there's going to be something for everybody on that menu, and we're going to be hanging out with you talking Texans football. So it's going to be fantastic. What do you got for the people? What are you going to show?
All right, I'll show you some stuff. Before we do, though, I got a few of these, and I just want to say I want to give you a little token of my appreciation for everything that you do. And this is coming from the heart, man. I put a lot of thought into this. And I think, Cody, you deserve this as much as anyone. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a nice T-shirt, a locker room T-shirt right here with your size. There's a lot of X's on this. So as a token of my appreciation, Rock and Farouk style, I am giving Cody Stoots a locker room shirt. I got some of those too. They've been made. The SNLs are coming through, but I'm going to give Cody Stoots a locker room shirt because I'm that kind of guy. So we have the locker room shirts. That's going to be one giveaway. We have in the bag, we have the new Texans hat. Someone's going to win that. The brand new Texans hat.
Nice.
We have couple of decals. If you're still a hardcore CJ Stroud truther, we got some CJ Stroud decals. We got the Elite koozie, the ones that zip up, the game day koozie.
Ooh, that's nice.
We got, look at these socks. These are white. Sometimes when you get Texan socks, these are the white with the logo on it. The Elite socks. We got the koozie collection, and then we got this is a little Yeti action. Texans Yeti. Look at this. The box. We got a shaker, and this is a customized blue unopened Texans shaker right here. Yeti. That's probably
nice.
like $60. It's the shaker. We'll give that away. And then we got the nice cups. Everybody likes a nice little Yeti Texans.
Little whiskey glass.
The whiskey glass. We got those. We got a couple of those. So that's just a couple things that we'll be given away tomorrow at Spanky's. So we want to see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on out there. Like Landry said, we'll be there for a long time. Show starts at 4. If you can't make it, you can still watch it right here on YouTube. We'll just be live at Spanky's, hanging out, talking Texans, hanging out with you before and after as well.
Eating tater kegs.
Mm-hmm.
Eating tater kegs. All right, so this Nick Caley thing. Here's a question I have. Is the Nick Caley excuse enough?
Yeah, so like this whole well, it wasn't good. And how do you call a play at 2nd and long and 3rd and long? Well, I think part of it is don't get in there. And I know some of that's not totally in his control, but I would have liked more short stuff to help avoid some of those situations and just dial it up, draw it up for Nico Collins, where he's the first read and make it happen that way. So again, I think there's room for criticism for a lot of pieces of the offense, and then you put it in different categories and different scales. Caley's maybe a little bit lower, but just what do you call on this down and distance?
I'll put it.
How about you just
I'll put it this
give a guy
way.
a chance to make a play.
This is the way I'll put it. And I'm not going to tell anyone how to feel or what to say or anything like that. But if you believed in Nick Caley and you liked Nick Caley before the season started, it's way too early to bail on him. You haven't seen anything that should make you bail on him. Now, if you thought he sucked from the beginning and whether you wanted an experienced play caller, whether you wanted someone who didn't run the New England system, whatever, if you felt that way, I understand. But if you felt good about Nick Caley, I don't think we saw enough to completely bail on him. I saw enough, and you brought up the good point to kind of confirm that I don't feel great with Cam Robinson out there at left tackle. I'm kind of I feel like there were a lot of clues, and there's a bigger body of work of him in that role to believe that. So I think you can feel that way. Jalen Petrie in coverage, we have a decent body of work, and we saw it. So I think there's reason to be concerned about that. But I don't think we saw anything from Nick Caley that if you were buying into it to where you just give up on it at this point in the process, and with how many different situations that an offensive coordinator puts himself in.
Yeah, I mean, I was the flag bearer. I was the guy at the front of the train, and I'm not bailing on him. Now, when I bail, everybody else should get off the train. So, but I'll go it down with the ship. It seems like with Nick Caley, but I don't think it's going to be going down.
Down with the ship.
If it goes down, I'm going down with the ship. But
are you going to stay and sing? What's that, Titanic, whatever?
Oh, the band kept playing.
Yeah, Evan asked, when do we start panicking? I would say
I think you're weeks away.
If you start panicking when and if the threat of not winning the division creeps in, because you still have the opportunity, if you get in, to kind of flip the switch, especially with your defense. So if you wanted to start panicking, it's like when the division streak becomes a possibility of not continuing. That would be the panic time for me. But even then, Bobby had a good first year. So I don't think there's any scenario where Nick Caley's one and done. But that's the beauty of this. It's from a player's perspective and from a coach's perspective, I get it, where it's like, well, we don't want to get too high. We don't want to get too low. And
it feels to me like DeMeco is already tired of talking about this team, and he just wants to play football now.
Yeah.
If he had his wish, he would have moved this game to Thursday night and they'd have played tonight. And he'd have been like, F this, let's go kill the Buccaneers. Because halfway through today, he was tired of talking about the Texans. And then I feel like I threw him a bone because I was like, Antoine Winfield. He's like, I like Antoine Winfield. He's good.
Playmaker.
But coach, we're together. We're ready. We're going to fix the mistakes. It's like, okay.
I think they win this game.
I do too.
With everything I'm talking about and all the feels, I think they win this game. So I want to make that perfectly clear. I think the Texans win this game. And I don't know it. I don't even know that the offense has to be great to win this game. I think this defense can carry them and take them home. And the offense it's not facing as good of a defense as it did against the Rams. So I think they win this game. I won't wait till tomorrow. I think they win this game. And I think they win this game by a touchdown or more. I think they cover the 3, and I think they win this game. So I'll make that very clear. I don't think this is a bad football team by any stretch of the imagination. But the offense is this is a lot about words, and this is all that we have was DeMeco's words. It just sounded very familiar. That's it. But it's still a good team. It's still a good team. So let's just make that very clear. Now, the offensive line, are they going to go back to the O-line that they like? Now, people kind of nitpick this, and rightfully so, because Jared Patterson will technically be in for Andrews. That was a coin toss to me. I thought that was a coin toss to me. So when you say this, you're talking about basically the tackles and the guards, Titus Howard specifically on the right side, and Ursery on the left, and Cam Robinson on the side.
Yeah, Cam Robinson on the bench, Ursery at left tackle, Titus Howard at right tackle, and then Ed Ingram back at right guard. Like the basically the line they practiced with for the better part of a month leading into the season until Ed Ingram hurt his abdomen and couldn't play.
Why are you saying abdomen so condescending? That sounds painful, man.
I wasn't saying it in a condescending way.
Team player, are we the only team not to score? Titans didn't score, and neither did the Giants. Yeah, so it was 3. Evan, did you see anything you like from the they don't show us much in practice, in open practice here. Are you talking about in the game, or are you talking about
if he's asking for in the game? I really liked how Nick Chubb ran the ball, especially on those 4 straight carries to put the offense on his back right before the 2-minute warning there late in the game. And I like Schultz around. Schultz looked like he was doing okay.
Yeah. But yeah, not a lot, but kind of used to that. Tayswell on the chat says, I was wearing y'all's draft meetup SNL shirt at the gym about 2 weeks ago, and someone came up to me and talked about it. It's pretty cool. Very much appreciation. I got locker room shirts. We'll get the SNLs at the next Spanky's gathering. We'll get the SNL shirts. We'll get a box of SNL shirts before then. You have our promise. Until then, The Rock's got a gift for Farouk and the other people. Oh my gosh. I just can't believe you can't support your friends, dude, but it's okay. It's, not everybody can be a team player like myself.
People are getting whiskey glasses. People are getting hats. People are getting custom shakers.
You know what?
I got a locker room T-shirt.
You know what? He wants an upgrade. I'm going to give you an upgrade because I am I apologize for what I just did. I'm gonna give you a better upgrade. Hold on.
I can't even imagine what he's going to get now. He's literally going into the locker. The sun is destroying me.
No, you're worth more than a T-shirt to me, Cody. So I'm going to give you this. And I'm going to let you rock my jersey. I'm going to let you rock the jersey that the Texans gave me with my name on it. This one is for you right here, just because you're such a good teammate.
Oh, this is the most Rock Farouk thing that you've ever done.
I wanted to be able to give that jersey away, but it has my name on the back of it. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this?
That's incredible.
Goodness gracious. All right.
Oh, man.
Anyway, do we have anything else that we want to add? It was not very many guys spoke in the locker room either. So if you wanted sounds from the locker room, they all wanted to wait till tomorrow or Saturday. So today they did not want to speak, which I actually kind of understand because it's kind of we know that the days are shuffled. So I get that. So tomorrow we'll hear from Patterson. Ursery's going to talk. Nick Caley's going to talk. Nico hasn't spoken yet. Will Anderson hasn't spoken yet. Titus hasn't spoken yet, I don't think.
Well,
Aaron, maybe a little bit.
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron here.
Yeah, Alpha just going in there and getting his one-on-ones did happen.
Titus standing in front of D'Angelo Ross's locker, and Aaron's asking him the questions. I was just like, there we go.
Yep. He'll corner you, man. He'll corner Aaron will corner you.
Oh, yeah.
Alpha Aaron will corner you. Do you like the do you think Aaron pulls off the sweatsuit in 100 degrees? I don't think everyone can do it, but Do you think Aaron pulls off the sweatsuit in 100 degrees?
No,
You don't?
no. He
Or
wore
he
the
doesn't
North.
have he doesn't have the Sperano swag.
He wore the
Hey,
North
bro.
Carolina.
Alpha Aaron here.
He wore the North Carolina get up the other day, and I was like, that ain't right.
Let's go to Z Soup, and we better see y'all at Spanky's tomorrow. We're pumped about this.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
Optimistic Rocks fan says, "Sup, y'all? Hope we can score a TD this week, please." Yeah, if they go 2 weeks without a TD, then man, you can probably the overreaction might just flip a little bit. The fluid process that is the NFL season flips a little bit.
They go 2 weeks out of TD. I might be the first one off the Nick Caley train instead of the last one.
HDAV Traveler, good evening to you, my friend. We'll see you at Spanky's tomorrow in spirit.
In spirit, yes.
Maybe you can just like leave him like a tater on the other side. What's the app called again?
I can't believe you would
Tater
show
kegs.
the tater kegs this level of disrespect.
Tater kegs.
And here's the thing.
I'm not into tater kegs. I'm into wings and I'm into salsa and I'm into
I love HDAV
beer.
Traveler.
And beer.
I can't be leaving a tater keg. Like, that's not something I'm doing.
Nick Rodriguez says, "Hey lads, just wanted to say big thanks to both of you. Number one source for Texans news. Been a fan since last year. I discovered SNL via Cody. Big up, Cody. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate you watching.
Appreciate you very much. There'll be a lot of people in spirit. We don't want you in spirit. We want you there. So yeah, I don't need your spirits. Just kidding.
I think
But
320.
y'all be watching, so you'll technically be there. Like you'll technically be there if you're watching because we're going to broadcast there.
I think 320 is saying he's going to be drinking there. Like I'll be in
Oh.
spirits there, like spirits.
Oh, okay, 320. Okay, I see you. Okay, I see you. Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to enjoy the déjà vu. And as Cody said, it's early in the movie, so it's not a sequel just yet. It's just a little familiarity. Maybe they're setting the table for something magical. We'll see y'all at Spanky's tomorrow. The next time we're live as a duo, we will be out there, and we look forward to y'all joining us. Subscribe, like, ride along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
We are the nation of domination.